You ever notice how you can be the total life of the party with one group of friends, but then you're super quiet and reserved with another? Well, today, we're going to dive deep into the psychology of why our personalities seem to do this little dance, shifting and changing depending on who we're with. And here's a spoiler, it's probably not a bad thing at all. I mean, we've all been there, right? You walk away from a family dinner or maybe a big work meeting and you kind of think to yourself, wait, was that really me? You might even get this nagging feeling of guilt, wondering if you're being two-faced or inauthentic. But what if that feeling is actually completely normal?
Yeah, see, psychology tells us this isn't some kind of character flaw. It's actually an incredibly advanced survival tool. Your brain is constantly working behind the scenes to manage social pressure, to conserve your precious emotional energy, and to maintain your own personal boundaries. So it's really less about being fake and so much more about being socially strategic.
Okay, so let's pull back the curtain and look at the brain's hidden defense mechanisms. We're going to break down the 3 big reasons your personality adapts, so you can really get what's happening when you feel yourself shift. And here they are, the big 3. We've got divided attention, which is all about how you think others see you. Then there's emotional protection, which is basically about not letting your battery run out. And finally, neural patterns, which is about how your brain is literally wired for different people and places.
So first up, divided attention. Picture a job interview or maybe a first date, those high-stakes moments. Your brain kicks into a mild stress mode and it splits its focus. Part of you is trying to live in the moment, but another big part is watching the audience, constantly asking, what should I say next? Do I look okay? Did that land right? And that forces you to put on a safer, more socially acceptable version of yourself just to navigate the situation. Next, let's talk about emotional protection. Think of your emotional energy like the charge on your phone. You just can't give 100% to every single person you meet, right? You'd be drained by noon. So sometimes you might seem a little more reserved or distant. This isn't you being mean or cold, it's your brain going into protection mode. You're setting a boundary without even saying a word, saving your truest, most authentic self, your honey, so to speak, for the people who've really earned it.
And this leads us perfectly to our third point, neuroplasticity. This is so cool. Your brain literally builds different roads or pathways for your different social circles. When you walk into the office, your brain takes the work pathway. When you're hanging out with your oldest friends, boom, it switches over to the friends pathway. Your brain just automatically picks the route that feels safest and most efficient for whatever setting you're in. It's all about conserving mental energy.
Now, things get even more interesting when power dynamics get thrown into the mix. So what happens when we feel like someone is trying to control us or tell us what to do?
Well, that's something called psychological reactance. It's that gut instinct, that natural urge to push back when you feel like your freedom is being stepped on. If you're dealing with a dominant or controlling person, you might notice your personality shift to become, say, more stubborn or resistant. That's just your brain's way of trying to get back your sense of independence and basically say, hey, back off, I'm in charge of me.
Okay, so this gets to the heart of it all. It's so important to understand the why behind these shifts. Are you changing because you're desperate for everyone to like you? Or are you changing to protect your own internal sense of peace? And this chart really breaks it down beautifully. When you're seeking recognition, you might make these huge, drastic changes to your personality just to fit in. You're constantly checking for likes and public feedback, which means your sense of self is totally external. But when you're just maintaining your own self-worth, you're only adjusting your display, not your core self, and you're doing it to protect your energy. You value deep, quality connections because your sense of self comes from the inside.
And all of this brings us to a really powerful new way of looking at this. Instead of beating yourself up for being a social chameleon, what if we started to see it as a sign of incredible strength and self-awareness?
That's right. The ability to adapt, to tweak your behavior, to navigate different social scenes effectively, that's not a flaw. It's a skill. It shows you understand the world around you and you know how to operate in it without completely losing who you are at your core.
I just love this quote. It sums everything up perfectly. You aren't losing yourself, you're just learning how to navigate a complex world. You're not breaking your personality into a million pieces, you're building a sophisticated toolkit that helps you move through life.
So, I'll leave you with this final thought. The next time you feel yourself shifting, just pause and ask, what am I protecting right now? Am I chasing approval or am I protecting my peace? What boundary am I trying to create? Answering that question might just give you a whole new appreciation for how incredibly smart your brain really is.